I got an intro that ain't even playing, gang. We got a new intro and everything. The morning show. What's good? How we looking? All right, gang. We got sound and everything. Good morning. The morning show. This, that, and the third. I put a new intro together and it ain't even play it. We got a whole new thing going on. 8 a.m. in the morning show. This, that, and the third morning show. How y'all feeling out there? This gonna be we're trying something different. All right, well, you got your coffee. I got the coffee with the foam on the top. It's early, it's 8 a.m. It just came to my attention that this might be a little early to some people in another time zone, right? It might be a little bit too early for you guys. Some of you guys, it's still 5 o'clock in the morning. Salute to those that's up though. This is just just something different. This, that, and the third morning show. All right. Wake up, gang. We're gonna have some fun with this. Just a little something. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna see how this works. I'm gonna see how this works and how you guys respond. But I'm gonna try to do the morning show 5 days a week. When applicable, right? 5 days a week. 8 a.m. in the morning. But it might be too early, like I said. It might be too early for some of you guys. Let me know. Let me know what's going on. One-eyed layer says it's 8 a.m. Candy of the Land said it's 7 a.m. in Chicago. Salute to the Shy. Positive Pepper Jones said coffee ready, popcorn ready. CNI says, what's up? Yo, the wake up show, man. Listen, this gonna be something interesting. I get to cover a bunch of stuff and see what's happening, all right? What's going on? Kendra said on my morning commute, right? I'm gonna try to keep it clean for the people with the kids in the car. All right. Big Obi in the building. Stacia. Sell you McCarthy. Listen, man. Gnome Breeze Pablo. Pablo, what's good? Yeah, California still sleeping. I see Shorty in the building. Good morning. Listen, man, I got the coffee with the foam on top. It is not Nescafe, but it is espresso. It's gonna be fun, gang. I promise you, if nothing else, it's going to be fun, right? It's going to be something to enjoy, hopefully. Okay. This, that, and the third. I have a whole intro that didn't even play. That's weird, right? But we'll get it the next time. We will get it the next time, right? Top of the morning, TT Santiago. This, that, and the third. Flash Burnt. Storm Randall. It's gonna be, listen, mornings gonna be different. We're doing something different because what's going on, I feel like there's a lot of people running media right now that really don't have no real competition. Gang, I gotta be honest with you guys, right? I feel like there are people that are getting named media, the top of media, and it's because they're outworking people. Okay, I gotta keep it a buck with you guys. There are people that are being named on this list just because they get up at 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, just start working. But I feel like some of these people don't deserve that spot. You damn sure don't deserve to be media if you're going to just launch into tirades because you feel like it, right? And I want to talk about this because what's going on, what I'm seeing right now, there is right now, the title of the video, right? It says Jay-Z fallout. There is mad fallout from this freestyle yesterday. Okay, what's going on right now with this freestyle? People are losing their minds. Okay, people are losing their minds over this freestyle that Jay-Z did. He performed it at. Gang, I watched the show on Twitter. So I mean, not on Twitter. Somebody put it on YouTube, an hour long of the show, and you get to really see what really happened with this freestyle, right? You get to really see how no one saw this freestyle coming. He did one song. I think he came out to Hovey Baby, right? He came out to Hovey Baby. And then he just launched into this freestyle, right? Welcome to the This, That, and the Third Morning Show. He launched into this freestyle. Now, it's not an emergency, Jinxie. It's just a new morning show, 8 a.m. every morning. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to see if it's too early for you guys. But he just launched into this freestyle. The crowd didn't know what was going on, right? You couldn't have known. He just started rapping. It took him a couple bars to realize, oh, this was a freestyle. Oh, what is Hov doing? By the time he got to some of those lines, right? By the time he got to some of those lines, they figured out that he was doing a verse. It took him a minute, right? And it gives you kind of get chills. If you're a Jay-Z fan, you kind of get chills because you're like, bro, this is iconic right here. They don't even know what's happening. But there's been a lot of fallout, right? This guy right here. Let me show you one of the things that's going on with this Jay-Z freestyle verse. I don't know if you guys have heard it. I did a whole breakdown video yesterday, and I know it was kind of long. I get it, right? It was kind of long. I did it yesterday in the afternoon, and a lot of people were in the chat. Appreciate that. But what's going on with this thing now? People like this guy are running out to get in front of this freestyle. Jay-Z dropped this freestyle yesterday, right? And he didn't drop it. He performed at the Roots Picnic. And he said some bars about Nicki Minaj. We're going to talk about the bars. He said some bars about Dame Dash. And he said some bars about Drake. He said some bars about Oskino. And this guy went out, gang, before he even went live. This guy, DJ Akademiks, before he went live, he went on Twitter and crashed completely out. He went on Twitter and crashed completely out. Akademiks lost his mind trying to get in front of the Jay-Z situation. Thank you for the super chat. To get in front of the Jay-Z situation because Drake is somehow now his responsibility, okay? Drake don't have to say a word because Akademiks is going to jump out there in front of everything and take the bullets for him. So Akademiks absolutely crashed out on Twitter. He did about, I don't know, 10 tweets, all aimed at Jay-Z, right? All trying to bring him down. Then he went live, and now he's trying to tear him down over a freestyle gang. This is where hip-hop is at now. That's your number one media guy, according to Complex, okay? So Akademiks went out and started getting in front of this Jay-Z thing. Now Jay-Z's, he's too old, this, that, and the third, and now he's bringing up that Jay-Z sat down with Jared Kushner. It's a full-on attack, and it's some sucker shit. And what I'm saying is hip-hop we can't even politic our own rappers anymore. Okay, so if y'all don't know what's going on with DJ Akademiks, he declared war on Charlamagne last week, a couple days ago, and he said it on his own show that he gave Grand Wizard Chat N-word the full go ahead to throw smut all over Charlamagne's name because Charlamagne wouldn't tell him his sources, because Charlamagne said Akademiks watch your back, people trying to get you. So when he wouldn't tell Akademiks his source, mind you, he's telling Akademiks something for his own good. When he wouldn't tell Akademiks his source, Akademiks said, all right, bet, then you're the enemy. So he literally said on his site, on his page, that he gave Akademiks TV, which is the Grand Wizard N-word. He said he gave him the go ahead to launch all of his attacks at Charlamagne, everything he got on him. And now that's why a lot of the allegations against Charlamagne are all coming back up. They're doing a smear campaign, is what it's called. So we got a guy who's supposedly number one in the media that can launch a smear campaign at will because he already has this stuff loaded up, and he can just launch a smear campaign against another person when he feels like it. So now uh, all this stuff is coming up. They're calling him Netflix podcaster Charlemagne. So they're trying to drag Netflix into it. So they can pretty much ruin his deal. Okay. So this is what Akademiks is doing. So now Jay-Z did the freestyle, and we're going to talk about the rhymes that he said in the freestyle. So now Akademiks has decided he's now trying to bring up everything about Jay-Z. So now we got an active troll in the media, which is not what the media is supposed to be. Now we got a guy who can actually, as soon as he decides, like he's trying to destroy Lil Baby, whoever he wants to destroy, he can just get out there and start smearing them. And Complex named this guy the #1 media person. Okay, this is where we are. So this is my point. We got a guy that actively will tell you if I like you or if you're not paying me. These is facts. If I like you or if I don't like you or if you're not paying me, I can smear your name and bring up all the dirt. Meanwhile, he has mad dirt on himself. Okay, we need to replace what's going on with this so-called media. When they're naming Akademiks #1 of hip-hop media, then we got a real problem. It's gone too far. Okay, but we're gonna talk about what Jay actually did say, and we're gonna talk about why it touched Akademiks in such a way that he's effed up. All right. Salute to the people in the chat. This, that, and the third. This is the first episode of the morning show. We're gonna try to do it more. If you don't see me in the morning, it means something came up. But for the most part, I'm gonna try to be here. This morning show, we're gonna pop in. All right, we're gonna pop in and pop out. Okay. What's going on over there, Twitch? Twitch ain't twitching. No shit, it ain't twitching. I got about 14 followers over there, I guess. But yeah, man, this is what's going on right now, and I want to have this conversation. And later in the episode, I do want to get to Boosie Badazz. I want to talk about Boosie too, because I don't know if anybody else noticed, but Boosie already quit. Boosie started that Patreon. Remember, he left Vlad TV and he's going to start his own interviews. Well, Boosie did the 2 interviews. He was trying to get the 25,000 from. He's trying to get more than. He's trying to get 40,000 from Vlad, and he quit. So he started his own Patreon, and grand opening, grand closing. Boosie hasn't put another interview up since May 6th. I'm gonna get into that. Right? He pretty much quit already. So we're gonna get to that, but I want to stay focused and get to this whole fallout. Even Bobby Shmurda. I don't know why Bobby Shmurda came out and dissed Hov for this freestyle. I don't know if it's a young man thing, but Bobby Shmurda ain't that young. Okay, he's not that young. Okay, but Bobby Shmurda is upset. There's quite a few people attacking Hov for this freestyle. There's a lot of people that literally is like flat blown away by the freestyle, but there are people like Akademiks who are getting out in front of it. And he's trying to bring it up for his guy, okay? And he's trying to run interference, but that's what he does. Now, let's talk about. I got some clips. Salute to top 5 Troy. He did an excellent breakdown of the freestyle, and I used some of his pictures. Okay, so we're gonna start there. I want to talk about some of these lines that Hov said in the battle, right? And this is one of them right here. Not the battle, the freestyle. He was talking about, I think he was talking about Nicki and Drake in this one. And he said, a rapper can't be my ops. I got MAGA Republicans. Them shots came from the very top of the government. That was a dig at Drake and Nicki, because Nicki is full on MAGA right now. And she's been coming at Jay. So people think that what he was saying on there was towards both of them, but mostly to Drake. Now, Drake took a swipe at Jay like he does almost. I realize almost every album, Drake takes a swipe at Jay-Z, but Jay-Z always responds every single time. He's never let it go without responding in some kind of way, trying to trick or I'm sorry, to check Drake in some kind of way and make sure that he understands you can't F with me. He's never ever back down and let it rest. So when Drake said basically in his song, I believe it was Janice STFU, he said that basically he don't want the meeting with Hov. Hov can't pretty much teach him nothing, right? He don't want the dinner with Hov. Well, Hov responded, and this is one of the lines. This one was more, like I said, more toward Nicki, but these are the lines that Akademiks are snapping about, because Akademiks then went on his live, because he's commissioned now to, since he got his OVO chain, he is commissioned now to defend Drake at all costs. So he went on his live and started to bring up Jay-Z's sit down. It wasn't even a sit down. Jay-Z was at he was in Atlantic City at some type of function, a dinner, and he was seated beside Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. So Akademiks goes, puts the picture up, and starts acting like he doesn't know. Oh, you're not MAGA. So he starts trying to prove that Jay-Z is MAGA, right? This is Akademiks right now trying to smear Jay-Z. So he starts going and saying, oh, you're not MAGA? Well, what's this then? You're sitting beside MAGA. So it's a full-on, he's already spiraling out, gang. So this is what we can expect from the #1 media guy. He's spiraling out for Drake. Now, if you're supposed to be media, but you can spiral out and defend someone, I don't know if that's media anymore, gang. Let's just be honest. And then you're pulling up in these functions, gang. You don't ask to be seated by people. You get seated for the most part. You get seated and you're not going to act like a jerk because the guy's sitting there, right? You can sit there and have a conversation with the guy. But Ak is trying to do what Akademiks does. He's coming out trying to link Jay with MAGA, and God knows what else he's done already said, right? He's done already went in full-on tirade. He went live the very next, if not the same night, the very next day, and is in full-on attack mode, okay? So this is what we got to look forward to for the next couple days, if not 2-3 weeks, of Akademiks trying to actively bring down not only Jay-Z, he's still trying to bring down Charlamagne, and he's still trying to bring down Lil Baby, all at the same time. Not to mention LeBron and whoever else. So he's taking on all of Drake's enemies himself because he got the OVO chain now, gang. So now he's just going to be a menace, okay? He's going to be an absolute menace. But this is what I'm talking about. Stuff like this. This is where we are, right? This is where we are with the so-called hip-hop media. It ain't about Jay-Z did a nice verse. Akademiks' his whole shtick was to get in there and start to try to dismantle Jay-Z. But let me keep this pushing, right? Let me keep this pushing. Now, there's another fallout from this Jay-Z freestyle. I don't know if you guys have heard it. I'm not going to play it right now, but I don't know if you guys have heard it. But he pretty much talked about a few other things in that freestyle, and we're going to get to that. So I don't know if you know who this guy is. If you guys are familiar with hip-hop, right? This is Oskino. Oskino used to be signed to Rockefeller Records with Dame Dash and the rest of State Property, Beanie Siegel, Freeway, PD Crack, right? He's from Philly, and Oskino has built a super big following. Just talking, right? He defends himself. He talks about hip hop, this, that, and the third. I think he got over 105,000 subs over there on his channel. Entertaining channel, okay, to say the least. He's very, very good speaker, and he entertains people, and people gravitate to him. But Oskino has been kind of almost at a war of words with the people that used to be on Rockefeller, including Jay-Z, and he's been at Jay-Z neck for a while, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's been at a couple other people associated with Rockefeller, such as Wayno. Him and Wayno got into it recently, and others, right? He's on Memphis Bleak neck hard, right? But Oskino, he took a shot at Oskino. Jay-Z sees everything, gang, and apparently he's heard Oskino talking about him. He's heard the attacks, for lack of a better word, from O, and he has responded with this freestyle, right? So with that being said, he said that nut ass N-word still stuttering, right? In regards to Oskino. And that was one of the lines. So that has caused fallout for Jay as well, because Oskino went on a full-on rant on his own page, going back at Jay, effectively picking up where he left off, and just really, really going seriously at trying to get Jay-Z get him back, right? He went immediately and put the video up. So there's all kind of fallout. This thing is causing all kind of damage, right? They're they're very much in a downward spiral with this freestyle, because you gotta think Jay-Z is most of the criticism on Twitter is they're starting with his age. Oh, this old dude, da da da. And that's what Bobby Shmurda said. Oh man, you too old for this. They're trying to age shame the guy. But let's be honest, he stood up on that stage with his new fro. We calling him Fro Hove or Hove with the fro, right? He stood up there with his afro. He combed out the braids, this, that, and the third. And Oskino was like, oh, this rich dude, you gotta be rich to get an afro from braids. Well, you could just comb it out, gang. So let's just be honest. But he stood up there, shook the entire game, and everyone stopped what they were doing and started talking about the words in this freestyle. So he ain't that old. The age has nothing to do with it. And that's what the young guys, the first thing they're gonna do is try to come at your age, right? But it's not gonna work. This freestyle has shook the building. I'm sure Drake is going to respond, but he might as well keep it, okay? This is something else that Jay said. He said, N-words looked up the Hove. I never looked up to them. That hurt because that was about Drake. So they started pulling up old memes and stuff that Drake has said to Hove. It's not matching up, King. It ain't working. And the simple fact of the matter is they're trying to scramble and figure out, because he's not going to speak right now. He's going to wait till he got an album or something or a remix. He's not going to say nothing about it. He might throw a meme up. But right now, all he got is his fans and stands. So they're going and grabbing up old lyrics from Genius and trying to put out this stuff to combat this freestyle in real time, right? Let me see what else Hov said, just in case y'all ain't see the freestyle. Hov with the afro then was like, you N-words as workers in perpetuity is how your contract is worded. When he said that, he was talking to, once again, directing that to Drake. He said, in perpetuity is how your contract is worded. Well, we know Drake in a crazy contract. They never talk about it, but he seems to be in an ongoing deal where he's always trying to get out of it, right? He's always writing lines about Lucian Grange. He's always talking about this, that, and the third in regards to the deal is so bad. And even on this new Iceman album, there were a couple lines aimed at his deal, right? So end of the day, we're starting to see that we're starting to see that Drake is not happy with that deal, and allegedly he dropped those 3 albums to get out of the said deal that you guys kept telling me that he had already recouped, right? You guys been telling me for 2 years, Challz, you don't know what you're talking about. Drake already recouped. Well, how did he already recoup if he just so-called dropped 3 albums in a row, 2 of them flop, but he dropped 3 albums in a row to get out of said deal, right? Let me see what else Hov said. This freestyle shook the world, gang. I'm gonna be honest. They probably talking about this over in Timbuktu. All right. The crackers got your publishing check, so go talk tough to them. Don't talk tough to me. This is Hov with the fro in full on. Gang, he had this freestyle locked and loaded. He said that he did not rehearse this, right? With the band. So he had the Roots backing him up. This was at the Roots picnic in Philly, right? Let me sip my coffee. He had the Roots picnic in Philly, and he had this freestyle locked and loaded. He did not rehearse with the band, gang. He took some swipe. He took a little swipe at Questlove too. He said Questlove introduced me to Jaguar. I don't know why I still mess with him, which was funny. It's a little little light jab at his friend. They friends, right? But this check, he said they got your publishing check. Don't talk tough to me, talk tough to them, which is what he's saying. Like Drake comes out with this mob ties talk and this tough talk, puffing out his chest, but he like, gang, we really not the same. You keep talking about you don't need to sit down with me, but I had said on a previous video, he might want to sit down with Jay because Hov owns everything. He's not in court suing his label owner. He's not in court saying they try to defame me and lowball me because he owns everything. And if Drake want to learn something, he might want to learn that, okay? But let me keep it pushing, okay? Because there was a lot. Hov said a whole lot more in this freestyle. Let me see what else we got to talk about. You ever heard of a wonderkind? A wonderkind. My children is some of them. Have you N-words, no shame. So that's when he was talking about his kids. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Nicki may have said something, but I know for a fact Kanye says something about his kids. So he's saying my kids are wonderkind. That means they're smart, they're gifted, right? And Kanye called his kids the R word, which is something that cannot be forgiven. When I did see Jay performing N-words in Paris the other day, I said, oh man, he could make up with Jay. Before I heard the freestyle, I said he one step away from making up with Kanye. But then when I heard the freestyle, I was like, yeah, no, he ain't forget. So we don't have no Watch the Throne 2 coming no time soon, gang. Let's just be honest. All right. So that's what he was talking about. These people that have attacked his kids, because people have been attacking. Let's be honest, they've been attacking Blue since she was a little kid too, right? So they've been attacking his kids for a while. Now, the next thing he said, Quest introduced me to Jaguars. Don't know why I still F with him. That was a funny line. He's talking about basically we all got introduced basically to Jaguar right through Questlove. Let's just be honest. I believe she's out of Philly as well. And Questlove and the Roots, for the most part, put Jaguar in position where she was. And she met Jay and she did music with, I believe she got music with Jay-Z. And she became famous. And she was rocking with Jay through this. And now I 100% believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that Jaguar made that call to the FBI that said Hove was with Epstein, this, that, and I 100. There was one call from an unhinged woman. Like at the end of the day, who else would it have been at the time that it was the time and the year that it was it took place? So I personally believe that most likely was Jaguar on that call, but he didn't go in on her, but he just made that comment. All right, let me see what else we got going on. I ain't much for meetings, no how. Cancel the brunches. I remember the hunger pains. This is directed at Drake. And Drake was saying something basically about, like I said, he didn't want no meeting with Hove. He good on that, right? So Hove was responding to that. Everything that Drake said on that record, he responded to, and I'll be the first to tell you, I was on Hove neck when he was saying no battles. He said we don't need no more battles in raps in rap and hip hop no more. He said we're beyond that. I had a mean issue. You know, I went nuts for 2 weeks. I was Hove's biggest defender in a lot of situations, but I was Hove's biggest critic when he said that, because I knew somebody had got to him, or he was out of the loop, right? Like I always say, he's in the crib feeding the kids liquid gold, which is mac and cheese. So he's out of the loop. He's a billionaire. He living up in that ivory tower. He forgot how we doing out here. But some snapped him back into reality, right? He came back, like I said on the video yesterday, they had cloned Tyrone, right? They cloned Tyrone and they had Jake. He was forgetting where he came from, but some snapped him out of. And I like to believe that part of it was that Tony Busby stuff, but the other part was Drake coming out talking crazy on that damn Janice, right? Allegedly, Joe Budden thinks he's Janice. That's the Janice from the STFU. So I think he snapped out of it. But at that time when he was talking, that battle rap was pretty much obsolete. We didn't need it. He didn't like what they did to Drake, right? Meanwhile, Drake already lining him up with that Iceman album because he had some shots at him. But Hove disappointed me, talking about, I don't like what you guys did to Drake. I was like, what is going on, right? So end of the day, I was a big critic of him at the time. I went in on him, and some of my biggest tweets online ever were me going at Jay and his fans responding, right? But I'm a big Hove fan too, but I'm a fan more of hip hop itself. I was rocking with hip hop before Hove. I'm gonna be rocking with it when he stops rocking with it, okay? So end of the day, or if he ever does. So I had to call Hove out because I was like, listen, this ain't it. This ain't gonna fly. We're not having this talking about there's no more room and space for battle. But end of the day, Drake didn't care that he went out and defended them, and people like Challz, how do you figure he defended them? Well, if I say I don't like what you guys did to Drake, at that point I am defending Drake. So he went and defended Drake, and now he paid for it because Drake came back with shots at him on his album. See, Drake feel like he big bone and broad every time he drop an album, but he don't realize that Hove has way more than he got going on, and he owns more, and his struggles ain't public like his. So he'll never win that conversation. He'll never win it because Hove got too much more on him. He was in this thing before he even started rapping. He was already at that level, and he's maintained it. And look what he just did with one freestyle. Hove ain't rapped in. We ain't heard him rap since God did. And he dropped one freestyle, and the whole world shook up. So here we are once again. So this is the point I'm trying to make, is that he'll never be able to one up him, but he keeps trying, right? He keeps trying, and he keeps sunning them. But let me continue. Let me see what else we got. because there are more lyrics that he said, and we're gonna get to that. Let's get to that. That chatty patty down on his luck again. Right here, he's talking about Dame Dash. Dame Dash is 100% chatty patty. The phrase that he made up, he's actually become a chatty patty, right? He is 100%, or like I've been calling him lately, the crispy patty or the crispy crab, right? That's Dame Dash. He's down on his luck again, and somehow he's blaming Jay-Z, and that's what Jay's point was, that basically, here we go again. I'm the problem when I ain't dealt with this guy in 20 years and they still trying to blame me. All right. He also said this N-word teeth is tumbling out their mouth. N-words teeth is tumbling out their mouth. That is once again in regard to Dame Dash, who was on a live stream and his teeth fell out of his mouth and he quickly grabbed them and put them back in, right? And that was pretty, to say the least, that was embarrassing. But Dame tried to turn that into a win. He tried to say later he came out with an eye patch on with his teeth out and looking in shambles. He said he wanted you guys to think he was weak, right? Dame said he wanted to appear weak so then people could feel like they could attack him and take him out. That was Dame Dash's logic for actually having his teeth fall out and having an eye patch on. He had just had surgery. So Jay was once again responding to Dame Dash, which he doesn't do often, but when he does, it's usually lethal. That was a lethal blow, and Dame Dash has already responded by putting up a picture of Jay-Z looking as the character from Mickey Mouse as Goofy with the fro. It didn't land like he thought. Okay, let me continue. Nope, not that one. This one right here. So we're getting a lot of fallout from this thing. People became they big mad. This one right here is at Nicki, and quite a few people are upset. Okay, that lady back on that stuff sound like she in love with him. Her kid can't even enough of them. So basically, he was talking about people. If I'm not mistaken, she said something about his kids, so he said something about her kids. Take it how you want. There are different interpretations of it. When he stuttered, some people say he was talking about the kid. Some people say he was talking about her husband. I believe his name is Ken. That he can't be around kids, right? So take it either way, however you want it. But he did speak on Nicki and her husband at the in that thing. He spoke on both of them. He was clapping at everybody, gang. Let's just be honest. And that's Oskino again. But he also talked about Kanye. Ye been out here tripping too. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot for Hove to respond to. Okay. And the end of the day, the freestyle, he nutted up on these people. And what happened was a lot of them are getting upset, right? Maul is caught in a rock and a hard place because he's connected to Jay-Z, right? And let me see if I can find this, because he posted, Maul of Rory and Maul posted about the freestyle. He just put, yeah, like he's with it, right? And people are like, Jay, come on, dog, like pick a side. What we doing, right? He's like hyping it, even though it's dissing Drake. So we don't know what's going on. But like I said, there's quite a few people getting in front. And the simple fact of the matter is we're seeing a whole lot of fallout. LeBron has posted it, and they're coming at him, and Puncher TDE chimed in. So there's a lot going on with this Jay-Z freestyle. But to me, I thought it was really well done. I thought it was well thought out, right? And some people feel like I said with Bobby Shmurda and people, some people feel like Hove is quote unquote too old to be doing this. I disagree. You're never too old if you're really good at what you do. But that's what people try to do, right? They get in my Twitter, be like, old man, da da da. If they have no idea, you're on my shit, gang. Like you're trying to attack me for being very successful at what I do. That's not how this works, gang. You can't attack somebody that's doing this at a high level. It don't work like that. You actually just pretty much look silly and you get ignored. And we just keep doing what we're doing at a high lele, right? I have a post and it's going 100. It's got 100K going on, but you're on my thing telling me, bro, you're too old for this. The old shaming, the age shaming don't work, gang. We don't care no more. We adapted to this shit. The old dogs have learned, and we in here. It is what it is. So Hove did a really solid freestyle. And I know some of you guys they're making videos. Oh, it's just, I don't, just ain't for me. Da da da. That's fine. No one's saying it got to be for you, but end of the day, when I always say this, if somebody could drop a freestyle and make the entire world listen and stop what they're doing, then they're really relevant, gang. Relevancy is that, right? Relevancy is being able to shake the culture and have people stop what they're doing to actually, one way or another, pay attention to what you're saying. That means you are still extremely relevant, okay? Salute the whole for doing what he does, all right? And salute to you guys for locking in on the morning show, the brand new, the very first episode of this, that, and the third. I appreciate you. We're going to get that intro up tomorrow. I played it, but it seemed like it didn't start. So I got to load it a different way. We're gonna get that popping though, all right? But like I was saying about Akademiks, man, something got to give. Got to give, and we got to understand that this culture, we got people leading it that they're leading it in a very undignified way. They're making it to a get ya gotcha culture where you got to get as much dirt and he uses that Akademiks TV as a weapon. He weaponizes that guy, that Grand Wizard Chat guy. He weaponizes him against his enemies, and he goes against his enemies himself, and they get paid to slap steak on it and make money from it. It's all a pyramid scheme. Akademiks is now gambling on stake too, and he gambles under Drake, so Drake gets a kickback from all the Akademiks, but none of them are losing their real money, and that's a big problem. Akademiks and Drake and Stake and the Grand Wizard Chat guy, they all are in an active lawsuit, and I think it's 2 of them left. It was 3. One of them got dropped, but they still got 2 more active lawsuits accusing them of botting, accusing them of misleading people by pretending to lose money gambling, which they don't. All of them bets you see that Drake put up, he bet $2 million on the Cowboys or whatever the bets are. All of that stuff is funded. He gets that money back. So they're saying that that's unethical. So we're looking at their entire operation is unethical. Everything that they do and stand for is unethical. So why wouldn't he launch an attack against a man who didn't do nothing but come out and freestyle? And now he's on him. If you go to Akademiks page right now, it's full-on attack on Jay-Z for absolutely nothing. All he did was speak to. He really didn't diss Drake. He spoke to him. Right, he gave him some game, but now Akademiks is on the full-on launch to destroy Jay-Z now, just like he tries to destroy anybody else. And at some point, hip hop, we got to respond to this. We can't have you just sitting at your computer all day launching attacks at people because you feel like it, even though they didn't do nothing directly to Akademiks. Now he's out trying to besmirch Jay-Z's name. Okay, end of the day, all right. Y'all still rocking with me? The chat going crazy. I appreciate you. We got almost 500 people in the chat. Thank you. First episode. I hope y'all got y'all coffee. I think Cali, it's like 5 in the morning in Cali, gang. Some shit like that is crazy. Something like that. It might be even earlier. I don't know. But salute to the people that are here and appreciate you walking with me. I'm not going to be much longer. It's just these shows are going to be like short. They're not going to be 2 hours. We might do an hour or less, right? But the next story I want to get to is this guy. Nobody's really talking about this one. Nobody really talking about this one. This one came to me on my own, right? And I know Boosie is trending because he's mad at he's mad at Jim Jones, right? Because Jim Jones did a podcast, if I'm not mistaken, and he had Young Blue on there, and I guess whatever he said to Young Blue triggered Boosie, but that's not the story I want to talk about. That's not the story I want to talk about, right? Good morning, Clean Black. Good morning, Tiff, Bing, Soul, Sister Soul, Know Your Flavor. What I want to talk about is this one. Because Boosie made a lot of noise a few weeks back, right? A few weeks back, Boosie made a whole lot of noise because he wasn't having it. He went on Vlad. He was one of the biggest interviews on Vlad TV, and he knew it. And he asked Vlad for more money, right? And Vlad declined. Vlad was going to pay him. Vlad was already paying him $25,000 per interview, which is a lot of shmoney, right? For the average everyday person, That is a lot of money. So Boosie was getting that for a couple years, and for a time it was good, right? So what happened? Boosie decided one day, after seeing that Tekashi 6ix9ine allegedly went onto Vlad TV and got paid $50,000, Boosie saw that as an opportunity to get more money out of Vlad. It's called pocket watching. And what happens is, just like in the NFL, if I'm the top paid running back or close to it, and I see a young guy or whatever come in the NFL and he demands more than I make, right? Salute the Purple Haze for the super chat. I'm 55. The disrespect that young people have for elders breaks my heart. Where are these younger rappers who can take on Jay-Z, Nas, and LL and Eminem? You are right, Purple Haze. There aren't many, if any. It ain't a lot of young rappers who can do what we do, the elder statesmen. We're still running the game. Hove dropped the freestyle, still running the game. Okay? But let me finish about Boosie. So Boosie says Tekashi 6ix9ine is getting $50,000. Well, I should be getting more than that, or something similar. So he goes and tells Vlad, listen, I need a raise. I need a bump in pay. $15,000. Boosie wanted Vlad to give him $40,000 because he's making 25. He wanted him to jump it up to 15,000 more. So Vlad was like, Boosie, that's a lot. I don't think I can do that. Let me run the numbers. He ran the numbers. He was like, I can probably get you another 10. I think he offered, he offered him 30. And then Boosie said 35, right? If I'm not mistaken. So Boosie said 35, Vlad said 30. They were stuck on this $5,000. If I'm not mistaken, it could be somewhere, something like that. It was a $5,000 difference. Boosie asked for 40. Vlad said 30. Boosie said 35. Vlad was like, I can't do that, right? Something to that effect. It was a $5,000 difference. Now, Boosie was like, you know what, then that's the sticking point. If I can't get my asking price, then I'm going to start my own videos. I'm going to do my own interview. How hard can it be? Well, what's going on with Boosie now? So Boosie made this whole stink about, I'm going to interview myself and I'll make that money myself. He was assuming it was going to be easy to just go make this $25,000 because he can just make it himself, right? So he decides not only, see, Boosie thinks like old school hustler. They don't give out stuff for free. They don't give out drugs for free. They don't give out nothing for free, right? I always tell this story of when I was at Howard Homecoming years ago. We was at a Howard Homecoming. We're artists, and artists were all the rappers in DC. You would go to Howard Homecoming and try to move your music to people, this, that, and the third. And it actually was a convention at Howard for hip hop. So all the rappers would come down, da-da-da. So a guy from, I believe, Texas or wherever he was from, real pimp looking dude, da-da-da. He was about his paper. He had his CDs. And what the artists like myself would do, we would exchange CDs to each other. Oh, you take my CD, I take yours, da-da. So I offered this guy, let's trade CDs. He was like, nah, buddy, I don't do that. So he's basically saying, I don't give my music away for free. This is my money here. I don't mess around like that. So the old school guys are like that. The old school hustlers, they don't give nothing out for free. Needless to say, that guy table sat there, nobody was buying his stuff, right? So end of the day, but I digress. Boosie's thinking, I got to get paid. So instead of putting up a YouTube channel, Boosie goes and puts up a Patreon. It's a paywall. Salute. Right? You can got free members. I joined this free membership. I have a Patreon. You can join my stuff for free, and I do episodes sometimes that you can pay to watch. Da-da-da. It's all relative. Right? But I'm also on YouTube, which is the cornerstone, which is free. Most people are going to watch a free program, right? Boosie didn't want it to be free. He put it on Patreon. He charged between $7 and $9. One was $7, one was $9. So he did an interview himself. Boosie's like, F it, I'll do it myself. He does this interview. He comes out with the weird ass story. He tried everything with this interview. He even told this weird story which I did a video on. My video is only 4 minutes long because I couldn't even open my mouth about it. I let him talk. It says Boosie. My video is called Boosie Said What? Right? Boosie made he took a clip from the interview where he described sexually assaulting his homeboy's girl. He put something in her drink. It seems it's a movie. He's describing it, right? And he's saying, but it's not assault. It's not this, that, and the third. It's the weirdest clip ever. It gets stranger and stranger, right? But he put this clip out to hype up the interview. Long story short, Boosie drops the interview. I believe it's his son, right? I believe it's his son that's interviewing him. It's not Vlad. So what he doesn't understand is Vlad has 6 million viewers, 6 million subscribers, right? Vlad has an infrastructure he's been building for 20 years, right? So Vlad was giving you free money. I get it, Boosie, that you wanted more, but $25,000 to sit down and talk. You're there for 2 hours and Vlad was coming to you. Like Vlad was coming to you. That's throwing away money. He said he was making millions off of Vlad. He was making so much money off Vlad, he couldn't even count it all, right? It was easy money, but he got greedy. So he did this interview. His son is not Vlad. He's not going to ask the questions a certain kind of way. They don't have the clips. They don't have the infrastructure. So people went over there, but it damn sure wasn't enough to make $25,000. And Boosie saw that really quickly. So he dropped part 1, dropped part 2. I went and checked yesterday. He ain't put nothing on Patreon since May 6th. So all of this, I can do it myself. But I said, you got to be consistent, Boosie. You got to be consistent. If you're going to start this channel and try to prove that you can do this, you have to be consistent. And AWAX, he said, how is it millions if it's an interview? Well, he's been there for years. He's been there for years, and he's been getting money for years. So, and he gets kicked back because what happens is when the interviews go viral, they bring him back to him and his music and his other stuff. So it's all relative. When he's doing millions of views on Vlad, that kicks back to his other brand, and it keeps him relevant. Then he's doing shows. It's just like with ReStream and these other guys. The Vlad, you don't just get paid from Vlad. You take that cachet and you get. Boosie got other interviews based on Vlad, right? So it's a whole lot of synergy. When you do them Vlad interviews, your clips are going viral, and then you go do another interview. Then he was on Sean Cotton, and he was hearing that, this, that, and the third. So it would lead to much more money for him, right? But he erased all that, and he went and did his own thing. So end of the day, what's going on now? Boosie has already abandoned the Patreon. It's going to be almost a month, and he put nothing up because it didn't pop like he said. Boosie was yelling at people. He yells at his own fans for not doing, pretty much following his lead. But it's always like that. Boosie yelled at the fans for not supporting the movie, yelled at the fans for not supporting the album, yelled at the fans for not supporting the Patreon, right? Instead of just getting that money, stuffing it away, right? Boosie decided to walk away from $25,000, and people clowned him in the comments. They were like, Boosie, the everyday person doesn't get $25,000 just to sit down in an interview for 2 hours. We know that you make your money just like Ari Spears. I don't need Vlad. I make my money. Well, Ari Spears lost. He was getting $4,000 an interview too, right? And he walked away from that. And I'm guarantee you he's hurting right now because Ari Spears drives a truck that would be breaking down all the time. He said he would be late to the Vlad interviews because the truck would be breaking down. So I'm like, now you're back where you were from square one. That was your rent money. He was interviewing with Vlad like once a month. So that's his rent money. So now you messed up your rent money, Aries. So it's weird. These guys don't think this stuff through. Okay? So all I was saying was Boosie has once again walked away and he don't have the infrastructure or the patience to build up a channel. You got all these people that ran over there and subscribed, right? And now you're not even putting content on the channel anymore. And that's what I mean when I say people don't think stuff through and they won't put the work in. And a lot of people, I ain't say a lot of people, some people were supporting Boosie's move. Yeah, Boosie, be independent. But I had said as soon as he did it, I said, he's not going to be consistent enough to build that following, to make it worth it. Get a YouTube channel first. You don't just jump to Patreon. Get a YouTube channel first. Vlad had a YouTube channel and still has one. Get a YouTube channel. Don't just jump into Patreon, start charging $7. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. So, end of the day, we learned the valuable lesson is that you got to be consistent. This stuff is not easy. And you can't just say, I'm going to all of a sudden jump out the window, throw up a Patreon and make $25,000. I guarantee you, all them $7 he made did not come nowhere near close to $25,000. I can promise you that 100%. And at the end of the day, you got to understand that's going to take time to build. If you don't have the patience, you're not going to build it. That's it. That's all. Cat Williams said Aries and Boosie are two big dummies. It is what it is. Okay, that's all we're gonna say about that. But I just see a lot of it's just stuff that needs to be addressed in this industry. There's a lot of hypocrisy and silly stuff, and it just, to me, it's weird because these are guys that should know better, right? Akademiks is old enough to know better. Akademiks is in his late 30s, right? Boosie is in his late 40s, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how old Boosie is. Let me see how old Boosie is. I think Boosie, but Boosie attention span is low too. Boosie be wanting a quick fix, right? He's 43. So I'm not a kid anymore, right? You're not a kid, Boosie. You can't just jump out the window and just do stuff real quick and expect these quick flips and then scream on your fans when they don't support it. You got to give them something to believe in. All right, end of the day. So basically, it's a whole thing going on, and that's the crux of the information that we got going on. I think we're going to see a lot more of people who don't want to put in the work, complaining about not getting a result. And I'm not saying Boosie's late. Boosie works hard. Boosie does a lot of shows, this, that, and the third, allegedly. But end of the day, you can't make all that noise about what you're worth and then go out and you don't prove it. It just proved that you were getting an easy bag and you fumbled it. You were getting an extremely easy bag and you fumbled it. All right, man, listen. First show's up, man. That's it. I appreciate you guys. We had about almost 500 people watching. Thank you. This is the first episode. We're gonna see if this is too early for y'all or if y'all want to keep coming back. All right. So first episode of this, that, and the third morning show in the books, gang. I hope y'all have fun. I hope you enjoyed it with your coffee. This, that, and the third. Like I said, I'm 5 days a week, 8 a.m. We're gonna see. And if I don't do it, that means I had something else going on. But I'm still gonna do the other videos. But for the most part, I should be here 5 days a week, the morning show. And it is what it is. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know that I sent you. All right. They ship all over the continental U.S. Also, Wednesday nights, we go live on the What Show. Me, TJ, and Fliz, 9:15, 9:30. Right on all my social media platforms. And I got a Patreon. And I'm posted on Patreon daily. Most of the stuff is free, but some of the stuff is for subscribers. So you can join for free and subscribe if you want. All right. Head on over to Challz Brown Patreon. And I got a project called The What Project with me, TJ, and Fliz. That's on all streaming platforms. And the Tomato Man comic book is happening. I'm looking at artists and storyboards. That's the project. I got to GoFundMe. I'm gonna share that later. But I got to GoFundMe for that. It's not gonna be all AI. People like, yo, we don't want it to be AI, right? It's not gonna be AI. It's gonna be legit. It's gonna have a whole story. Tomato Man is the superhero version of Iceman. He fights himself. He's in a lifelong battle with himself, and he's a Tomato Man. Okay, that's happening. That's gonna be funny. but it's gonna have some real shit in it too for the bubble bath rapper to think about. All right. And who knows? Maybe it'll turn into a cartoon, and maybe he'll voice both characters. Who knows? We'll see what happens, gang. But on that note, man, listen, I am out of here, man. I appreciate you guys. I see you, Miranda, Sabrina, Eva, Clean Black, a scribe called Tess, Poison Ivy, Chachi. Listen, man, OGT, Bella, Ms. Hummus. It's been a blast, man. Tiff, Purple Haze, Noya, Ghost. Man, I appreciate you guys tapping in. I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna